When she joked about having better chemistry with her work husband, the whole room laughed. Everyone thought it was harmless banter, the kind of office humor that people toss around over cheap wine and board games. But I saw something in her eyes when she said it. Something she didn't mean for me to catch, a spark too real, too dangerous. That night, I pretended to laugh it off, but my stomach burned like acid. While the others kept rolling dice and drinking, my mind was already rolling through every red flag I had ignored. The late nights, the extra shifts, the sudden obsession with team projects. By the time she poured me another drink, I already knew this wasn't a joke. It was a confession wrapped in laughter. And the next morning, I decided to stop being the quiet, forgiving husband. Because if she wanted chemistry, then she was about to learn what a real chemical reaction looks like when it explodes. We'd been together for 8 years. Married for 5. I thought we were happy, or at least stable. Bills were paid, fights were rare, and Sunday mornings always started with pancakes and lazy smiles. But looking back, I realized that stable isn't always the same as secure. Sometimes stability is just the calm before the collapse. It started subtly. She used to talk about her job like it was just work, annoying meetings, clients who didn't listen, the usual. Then one day, she started mentioning someone new. Her partner on a project. Her teammate. Her work husband. At first, it sounded harmless. I'd even heard the term before. A work husband was supposed to be that office buddy you trusted, joked with, relied on. Nothing romantic. Nothing dangerous. But the way she said his name, it carried weight. Warmth. She'd laugh about his jokes, compliment his ideas, even mimic his phrases at home. And when I'd point it out, she'd brush it off. Oh, stop being paranoid. We just have great chemistry at work. Chemistry. That damn word haunted me for weeks. The night of game night was supposed to be fun. A small get-together with friends, pizza, drinks, laughter. She invited her co-workers too, including him. When he showed up, I felt my stomach drop. He wasn't some random nerdy office guy. He was confident, charming, a little too comfortable around her. The kind of man who knew he had power and wasn't shy about it. They sat too close during charades. Their jokes were inside ones. Every time she laughed, her hand found his arm, her eyes lingered longer than they should. Then, it happened. During a round of Truth or Dare, one of her friends dared her to say who she had the best chemistry with at work. Without hesitation, she smirked, looked at him, and said, "Well, my work husband, obviously. We just click better than anyone." The room erupted in laughter. She winked at me, pretending it was all fun. But I saw the truth in his grin, in her nervous giggle. There was something there. I forced a laugh, grabbed another drink, and let it slide. Because that's what I always did. I let things slide. But not this time. The morning after, she left early for a meeting. Her perfume still lingered in the kitchen, sweet and sharp, mixed with the bitter smell of betrayal. I sat at the table, staring at her half-empty coffee cup, and something inside me clicked. I was done being blind. I opened her laptop. It wasn't locked. She trusted me too much, or maybe she just underestimated me. And within 5 minutes, I found it. Emails. Dozens of them. Not explicit, not yet, but charged with undertones that screamed affair in progress. They called each other partner in crime, joked about sneaking around HR, teased about after-hours chemistry experiments. But what froze me was the thread titled Our Little Science Project. Inside were photos. Hotel selfies. Her in a robe. Him shirtless in the reflection of the mirror behind her. I couldn't breathe. The room spun. 8 years of trust, ripped apart in a few pixels. I wanted to scream, smash the screen, drive to his office and drag him out by his collar, but instead, I took a deep breath. Because rage is fuel. And I wanted this explosion to burn perfectly. I made copies of everything. Every email, every photo, every message. Then I started digging deeper. Their office had a strict policy against inter-employee relationships, especially between superiors and subordinates. He was her senior. That meant what they did wasn't just immoral. It was grounds for termination. I gathered timestamps, attachments, even hotel receipts she had forwarded to her work account. The evidence was airtight. But revenge wasn't about speed. It was about precision. So I waited. That evening, she came home acting like nothing happened. Kissed my cheek, asked about dinner, complained about traffic. She looked so normal, like the woman I fell in love with. And I realized that's what made it so evil. She could betray me and still act like nothing was wrong. I decided to act the same. I smiled, cooked her favorite meal, even massaged her shoulders while she watched her shows. All the while, my plan was taking shape in the background. The next morning, I drafted an anonymous email to her company's HR department. I didn't make it messy, I made it professional. No emotion, just facts. Dates, attachments, screenshots. A summary of their inappropriate conduct, along with evidence of workplace policy violations. Then I hit send. And waited. By 10 a.m., she texted me from work. Weird day. HR's calling random people in for meetings. No idea why. I smiled. Of course, she didn't. By 11 a.m., her tone changed. HR called me in. Something about emails. Did you hear anything? I didn't reply. At 12:17 p.m., the real message came. Short. Cold. Final. I got fired. 2 minutes later, another. He did too. I leaned back in my chair, staring at the screen, feeling empty. Not happy. Not angry. Just hollow. Because revenge doesn't always bring peace. Sometimes, it just leaves silence. But I wasn't done yet. When she came home that evening, she looked like she'd been through hell. Eyes red, makeup smudged, voice trembling. She tried to explain. It wasn't serious. It just happened. I didn't mean to hurt you. But her excuses meant nothing. The moment she stepped into that hotel room with him, she had already packed her own bags. I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I just handed her a small duffel bag already packed. Your stuff's in there, I said quietly. You can stay wherever your chemistry partner is staying. Her jaw dropped. You're kicking me out? I'm returning the favor, I said. You kicked us out the moment you let him in. She begged. Cried. Tried to hug me. But I stepped back. You can't come back here, I said. Not tonight. Not ever. And then I closed the door. That night, I sat in silence, staring at the empty couch where she used to sit. The house felt bigger. Colder. But for the first time in months, I didn't feel like a fool. My phone buzzed just before midnight. It was her. I have nowhere to go. He won't talk to me. Please, can we talk? I didn't reply. You don't understand. I made a mistake. I love you. Still nothing. Please. I'm sorry. The dots disappeared. And then came the final message. 1 line. 6 words. I wish I never joked that night. I locked the screen, took a deep breath, and smiled bitterly. Because for the first time since that game night, the joke was on her. That night, after her last message, I didn't sleep. Not because I missed her, but because my mind replayed everything like a movie I couldn't stop watching. Every smile she faked. Every late meeting. Every "don't wait up, I'll grab dinner with the team." All those tiny lies that formed a web I was too blind to see. Now, she was the one caught in it. The next morning, I woke up to silence. Her toothbrush was gone. Her clothes were still in the closet, but I left them there like a crime scene sealed off for evidence. The smell of her perfume lingered faintly in the hallway, mixed with regret and betrayal. I checked my phone, 15 missed calls, 6 voicemails, 3 new texts. All from her. 1 from an unknown number. It was him. You really think this fixes anything? You ruined 2 careers. You think you're the victim? Pathetic. I stared at the screen and almost laughed. Pathetic? No. Calculated. He was angry because his perfect little secret had exploded in his face. The office golden boy, suddenly unemployed, reputation scorched. And she, the once proud career woman, now untouchable. 2 brilliant minds, undone by their chemistry. By noon, mutual friends started calling. Apparently, news travels fast when 2 co-workers get fired for inappropriate conduct. Some tried to defend her, saying maybe it was just a misunderstanding, maybe HR overreacted. But HR doesn't fire without cause. They had proof. My proof. I didn't tell anyone it was me. I just said I didn't know what happened, maybe the company found something. Maybe karma finally showed up. And karma did. Right on schedule. 2 days later, she showed up at the house. Her eyes were puffy, her hair messy, her voice shaky. She looked like someone who hadn't slept, someone crushed under the weight of her own choices. Please, she whispered at the door, just let me talk. I hesitated for a moment. Then opened the door halfway. She tried to step in, but I blocked her. You said I was being paranoid, I said quietly. Remember that? She nodded, eyes filling with tears. I was stupid. I don't know what I was thinking. He made me feel seen. But it wasn't real. None of it was. So you threw everything away for something that wasn't real? She nodded again, sobbing. I lost my job, my friends, my home. Please, I'll do anything to fix this. I wanted to believe her. God, part of me still wanted to hold her and pretend this nightmare never happened. But you can't rebuild trust from ashes. Not when the fire was lit by someone you loved. You didn't just cheat on me, I said. You humiliated me. In front of friends. In front of everyone. You made a joke out of us. She tried to speak, but I stopped her. Do you remember that night? Game night? When everyone laughed. She looked down. Yes. Well, that's the night I stopped being your husband, I said. And started being your consequence. Her lips trembled. Please don't say that. Then tell me, why should I forgive you? She didn't answer. Just silence. The kind that's heavier than shouting. After she left, I thought it was over. But regret has a funny way of keeping people tethered. She kept messaging me long paragraphs filled with apologies, promises, tears turned into words. I'll go to therapy. I'll quit drinking. I'll prove to you I can change. But every message felt like a script written too late. Like an actor begging for another take after the movie's already ended. I ignored most of them, but one caught my attention. He blocked me. He said I ruined his career. I have nowhere to go. So her work husband abandoned her too. Of course he did. Because cheaters rarely stick together when the consequences come knocking. For a brief second, I almost pitied her. Then I remembered how she laughed that night in front of everyone, while I sat there feeling like a fool. Pity dissolved into quiet satisfaction. Weeks passed. I focused on rebuilding my life, gym, work, silence. I deleted our photos, changed the locks, sold the couch we used to fall asleep on during movie nights. Each change felt like shedding a layer of her. Then one morning, I got a text from her sister. She's been staying with me. She's not doing well. You should talk to her. I stared at the message for a long time. Not because I cared about her health, but because I wanted to know what not doing well meant. So I replied. What's going on? Her sister sent a voice note. She's a mess. She can't find a job, no one will hire her after HR circulated that report. She's been crying nonstop. She keeps saying she lost everything. She even tried reaching out to him again, but he's engaged now. Moved on. Engaged. Already. The irony hit hard. He destroyed his own life and still managed to land on his feet. She destroyed ours and landed in freefall. Karma doesn't always divide evenly. But it always hits where it hurts. A week later, she showed up again. This time, not crying. Just quiet. She handed me an envelope. Inside were divorce papers. I'm not here to beg anymore, she said softly. I just want you to be happy. Even if it's without me. For the first time, she looked honest. Defeated, but honest. I signed them without a word. When I handed her the pen back, our fingers brushed a fleeting contact that felt colder than winter. She smiled faintly. I never thought it would end like this. Neither did I said. But choices have consequences. She nodded. I know. I just wish I'd realized that before game night. She turned to leave. Then stopped. You were always too good to me, she whispered. That's the problem. I got used to you forgiving me. I thought you always would. Then she walked away. No tears this time. Just silence. Months passed. I heard bits and pieces about her life through mutual contacts. She'd moved to a small apartment, picked up part-time work, started therapy. Apparently, she was trying to rebuild herself piece by broken piece. Sometimes, late at night, I'd catch myself wondering if she really changed. If the guilt still haunted her. If she ever thought about me the way I thought about her, not with love, but with memory. Because betrayal doesn't fade. It just settles into the corners of your mind, like dust you can't fully clean. Then came the twist. One morning, while checking emails at work, I got a message from an unfamiliar company. They were looking for a consultant in my field, the same position she once held. Out of curiosity, I clicked through their website and saw a familiar face in the applicants section. Horror. She was applying there. And guess who the HR head was? An old colleague of mine, someone who owed me a favor. I sat there for a long time, staring at the screen. Part of me wanted to delete the email and move on. But the other part, the one still carrying the scars, had other plans. I called him. We talked for a while, casually at first. Then I told him everything. Not the emotional side, just the facts, the documentation, the termination details. He listened quietly, then sighed. Appreciate the heads up, he said. We'll take it from here. I didn't ask what he'd do. I didn't need to. Because the next morning, her name was gone from the applicant list. Later that week, she texted again. No apologies. No pleading. Just a single message. You win. I stared at it for a while before replying. This was never a game. No response. A year passed. I moved to a new place. Got promoted. Started seeing someone new, someone who looked at me without hidden laughter in her eyes. Someone whose chemistry didn't come with conditions. One evening, as I sat on my balcony watching the sunset, my phone buzzed again. An unknown number. Curiosity made me open it. It was her. I'm in therapy now. I'm sober. I'm working 2 jobs, just to stay afloat. I know you'll never forgive me, but I needed you to know. I finally understand what I lost. I read it twice. Then put the phone down. Forgiveness isn't something you owe someone. It's something you grant yourself when you're ready to stop bleeding from old wounds. And I was finally done bleeding. I didn't reply. Instead, I turned my phone off, leaned back, and let the quiet fill the space where her chaos used to live. For the first time in a long time, I felt peace. Not the kind that comes from revenge, but the kind that comes from closure. Because some lessons have to be learned the hard way. And hers was chemistry. Real chemistry. The kind that destroys what it creates.